running through our veins. Let's be renegades, good for nothing runaways. That girl got her own bag.
Okay, so Charisse Glenn, CSA CCDA, is a second generational casting director. Her mother was one of the first freelance casting directors in LA, casting in commercial and film since 1986. She has worked with talented award winning directors, production companies, and advertising agencies. She is also on Clubhouse. Follow her and learn from one of her many rooms. Welcome to the Badass Babes of Entertainment, Charisse Glenn.
Thank you. I love the name Badass Babes.
Oh, thank
Hey.
you.
And there's a guy here too, but yeah, that's okay. We need,
Yeah.
we need a token guy, right?
Behind the scenes.
Yeah, he's behind the scenes. He's our support system.
Yep.
He's fabulous.
That's how it should be, right? Men should start supporting us.
That's right. They said, what was it before? Behind every man is,
a good woman.
a good woman. Well, now
Let's
we're-
flip it.
Yeah,
Flip
exactly.
it.
You know, I did an interview years ago for a clothes company. They were looking for women that worked in Hollywood behind the camera women. So producers, casting directors, whatever. And they were asking about casting. And they asked my position in I can't remember exactly the question, but the response was, I bring to the, because usually it's all men, right? It's everybody's a man in the room. I'm the only woman. And I said, I bring to the table the balance that they don't have. So they actually need me and my being a woman in the room with them just to give it some, equilibrium.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And I love the fact that you are a big dog person and you just rescued a puppy.
Did.
I
I foster
love-
failed. I
foster failed.
Somebody called me and said, hey, she needs some help. She's emaciated, living in a crate,
Aw.
living in an apartment. She didn't have a collar because they didn't take her outside. I mean,
Oh my gosh.
it was sad. So I said, sure, bring her over. I have a property. I have my horses on the property. So it's fenced. They get to run around. I thought, I'll get her fattened up. I'll train her a little bit and I'll find her a home. And it was about an hour. And it's like, okay, I'll just keep her.
And you're like, dang it, time and love.
Yeah.
So I think three is a good number. I have 3 myself,
you
so
do?
I totally understand. Yes. Yes.
What breeds do you have?
So I have a black lab mix that is 16 and which is amazing. She's fantastic and hilarious. And then I have a shepherd mix who's 12 and then a little white poodle who is 10 and he thinks he is their security and he has to take care of them. So
Cool. Is he the buzzkill? I always say my older Doberman, she's always like, you can play on my terms, but when I don't want you to play, it's like, okay, stop it.
Yep. And at the dog park, if Mimi, the lab, if she is playing with other dogs, he has to jump in and like stop it. Like, no, my sister's too old. You can't play that rough with her.
Aw.
And so we put a little security T-shirt on him because he's such a little brat at the dog park and so bossy. So
Well, that's funny.
yeah.
He needs the velvet rope that he can
Yes.
enough for the dog.
Yep.
Whatever.
That's him. So, but he's a love bug and he's hilarious. They all have such, distinct personalities, as you well know, I'm sure, with yours as well. But they become your babies. And gosh, we've had Mimi for 14 years now, our oldest. So,
I say I grow them old at my property. And I've lost over the last 5 years, I've lost 8 animals. All to old age, dogs, cats, and horses. And I lost my 25-year-old cat on Tuesday.
oh,
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, thank you. It's sad, but she had a great life. And
Yes.
she
Apparently
died in my arms,
25.
and she's buried in the graveyard, in the corner of my property. So I have a little area. I call it the Rainbow Bridge Bar because we go down there. We throw a few back, to say goodbye to everybody. And
That is perfect.
yeah.
We always say that they're crossing the Rainbow Bridge, and we're preparing ourselves for Mimi because she's already won the race. She never thought that a a lab would live this long, and 2022 she's going to be 17.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Really long time, and she's still sassy as all get out, so we're going with it.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood for sure. So, Megan, did you want to jump into some questions?
Yes. So you and I had kind of talked about Clubhouse. And so we are wondering if you want to tell our audience more about your rooms, what you're trying to accomplish through Clubhouse, and just kind of the precedent that you're setting. I think it's very interesting.
Okay, I love Clubhouse. I absolutely love it. I was asked to join last year from a friend of mine, new social media app. It's like, no, 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 I don't want any more social media. I've been
Right.
building my Instagram, which is like completely painful to do. And it's like so much work. And I kept saying no. And then one day I said, okay, today's the day. I'll tell you, it was January 13th this year.
Oh, wow.
And I said, okay, let's do it. And within 2 days, I was hosting my own rooms. Are you familiar with Clubhouse?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was hosting my own rooms, and this is before it was easy to get clubs. And so my goal was to start a couple clubs. And so you had to host at that point, X amount of rooms for so much time. So I'll just give it a shot and start doing. I went into a lot of the acting rooms to figure out what was necessary and needed and lacking and what it was all about. Sorry, that's my phone. And then I also went into mindfulness rooms, because what I do, aside from being a casting director for as long as it's been 35 years, I write a blog. It's called The Let Go. And it's about letting go of all the shit that we no longer need to hold on to. I publish weekly, and it's really about consciousness, mindfulness. I thought, okay, let's see where I'm going to use this Clubhouse thing. And what I realized was, and we were heavily into the pandemic. I hadn't seen an actor in studio since, I have all these dates in my mind, since March 7th, 2020 was the last time I had seen an actor. So I was in these acting rooms, and actors were there, and they were able to get on stage and ask questions. I thought, okay, it's cool. We can interact. And then as a little bit of time went on, I thought, let's make this instructional. So I started doing assessing your slate, like how do you say your name? And I'd bring in casting directors and voiceover people, and we talk. Actors would get on the stage and they would do it, and we would critique it and assess their headshots. And then I just tried to see what was needed. And one of the two rooms that have the most longevity is a Q&A with industry pros. So I started a club called Casting Conversations. And it's about these conversations, about deep questions, hard questions. That room is all over the place, but we have one topic per week. And we go into the nitty gritty of it. One time it was set etiquette. How do you behave on a set, and who's who, and who do you talk to, and what happens if there's a problem? And so that was a great room. We've done that one several times, but we do a lot of rooms on mindset and how do you keep yourself up? How do you make your choices? Lots and lots of different questions. So that room is fantastic. And then my favorite room is called Vocal First Impressions. And the reason I started that one was because I would hear these people on Clubhouse rambling, just blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, come on, get to the point. And they had such trouble having a beginning, middle, and end, and they were losing their audience. So I started it specifically for Clubhousers to learn how to speak in a concise way. And it's developed into so much more. I have a voiceover artist, a voiceover producer, and a professional speaking coach, and myself. We're the panelists, and we ask actors to come on stage. Not actors, humans to come on stage. We ask them a random question, and we ask them to answer it in 30 seconds. And then we critique. Did you have a beginning, middle, and end? Is your mic proximity good? Did you touch our emotions? Did you use filler words, the ands, the ums, the hums, the come, all those words? And we have people coming back weekly. Like, just the DMs are amazing of of how people have gotten better. And what I've noticed is, so that's almost a year now. And I've noticed I've become a better speaker because you put your whatever you put your consciousness on is what happens. So if I start off the room and it's like, I'll say to one of my cohorts, Diana, take that away. I don't want it for the rest of the room. And she'll go, okay, I'll take it, but I'm throwing it away. And it's fun because we make it really playful, but it's extremely informative and educational to anybody that wants to come on stage. And people are petrified, but once they do it once, they get better and they get better and they get better. And people have booked jobs through this room because
Wow.
voiceover people come and listen to who's speaking. So it's, you never know who's lurking in the hallways of Clubhouse.
Brenda, you're gonna have to tell all your actors.
I know. And then I need to start lurking.
Okay, so those are my rooms, but I say to actors, get on Clubhouse. I've booked actors because of Clubhouse. They've come up on the room in my rooms. They've asked intelligent questions. They post their they use the profile picture of their headshot, and they are attached to their Instagram, so I can go on. And I have actually found actors for jobs, DM them and said, hey, do you have an agent? Yes or no. And I have booked a couple them through Clubhouse. One didn't have an agent. He booked the job. I sent him to an agent. He got an agent.
Nice.
So it's
He's got to love you now.
Yes.
it's a pretty cool app. I mean, it takes work and it takes navigating it because there's a lot of junk on it. I'd say 95% of it's junk, but there's some gems too. So
I've noticed that I've popped into a couple of rooms and like you said, it was the weird rambly crazy. And I'm like, what is happening right now?
God, I hate it. I actually popped into a room the other day and it's like, oh, I can't do this because it's just the same questions over and over and over. Yeah. And you start to get to know people. Some people just go into all the different rooms asking the same question. Right. No, the answers aren't going to change. Just do the work. So yeah, so that's my Clubhouse experience. I love it though. I think it's an interesting app. I don't know the growth of it right now. Last year it was growing like leaps and bounds. I think it's taken a little slowdown right now.
Gotcha. Ooh. Our show sponsor today is Roasted Luxury. And this coffee is so freaking good. I can't even begin to tell you. You'll never have to leave home again for coffee. And it's organic, fair trade, and small business, which we love. This is a good thing. They offer honey processed coffee, which means that the coffee is naturally sweeter. So you badass babes can add less sugar and have that second or third cup without the guilt, which we also love. Go to roastedluxury.com and use promo code BABES15 for 15% off your entire order. And you can feel good about helping a local business person who is also a badass babe. Yes. So thanks so much to Roasted Luxury for being our very first sponsor on Badass Babes of Entertainment. So your mom was in the industry. What is the best piece of advice that she gave you, or what have you learned from watching her work?
I read that question and I have thought about it. I kind of grew up in a casting frame of mind because it was old school. You had the headshots and she'd bring the pictures home and we'd look at it. And she taught me how to see people. She taught me through this black and white 8x10, how to look at this person and really see who they were and see what characters that they could be. So she taught me how to see beyond.
That's so fun.
What's here. So I think that's the number one thing, is that she showed me how to use, what is it? I guess, how I look at it, she showed me how to use my intuition when I'm looking at a photograph. And I always say I'm an intuitive casting director because I go really fast and then something stops. Why do you stop on that person? It's because it's something that I see in that picture. And it's usually through the eyes, not always, but usually through the eyes. So she taught me how to do that. And also, my mom was a really good director and she loved actors. She absolutely loved actors. And a lot of casting directors don't like actors, but she loved them. So she showed me how to communicate with them in a language that they understood to make the adjustments that she wanted them to make. And she was so good at it that her direction wasn't the same for every actor. It was like, okay, what does that specific person need? So I think she taught me that, how to take the time and take the time and see, and take the time and listen to what's needed. And aside from that, my mother was a single mom, Japanese American, in a time when men dominated the profession. And she went out there and just opened the doors for all of us to be able to do what we do. So I am just so proud of my mom. I love my mom.
Aw, I love that. That's
That's really sweet.
amazing. And we're proud of her because, she helped pave the way for all of us. So,
Right? Yeah, seriously,
yes,
she did, and I'm very, very happy. I'm very blessed.
definitely.
That's amazing. So we want to know, how does a casting director get hired by a production company?
You're not always hired by the production company, for one. So the
Okay.
process is, the client is the client, like Toyota or Procter & Gamble, whoever. Advertising agency hires. Clients hire an advertising agency. The advertising agency then goes and looks for directors once they've developed whatever commercial that is. The directors represented by the production company. Sometimes I'm hired because the director is a director I've worked with. They want me on every job. So I'm hired because I'm the director's casting director. Sometimes the line producer, who's not the executive producer, line producer is also hired by the production company, has worked with me a lot and brings me into a job and introduces me to a new director. And sometimes I'm hired by the advertising agency, who says, no matter who gets the job, I have to be the casting director. So it's not always the production company. It's primarily, but not always. And it's shifting now. The business is changing so much that it's shifting. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, go ahead. You can do this one.
What is your favorite way to relax and get grounded after an intense casting session?
Aside from having a glass of wine, which
Perfect answer. Great.
Yeah,
That's
or-
what we were thinking.
aside from all of that, I'm an avid yogi. I do yoga
Oh.
several times a week. I have my dogs, and they're just like these bio energy. You give them a hug, and they take all the stress away. And I also have horses, and I do a sport called endurance. I race 100 miles on horseback. And
Oh,
Oh my
wow.
gosh.
like doing an ultra marathon, but on a horse. And so
Wow.
I don't know that it's stress free, because that in itself creates a lot of different stress, but it's definitely how I unwind. Just get on a horse, go out into the mountains, and just ride.
She's like the woman from Snowy River.
Yeah, that was a great movie.
Yes. Now, see, they need to make a woman from Snowy River now, because
There's
we're
some pretty
making our
tough
moves.
Australian
for
women out there for sure.
Yes, heck yeah. No, and I absolutely agree with what you say about dogs. And we're big advocates for animals, and we work with the Burbank Animal Shelter, and we have their link on our webpage so that people can go in real time, go to their link and see what animals are up for adoption. And we send out links with their Amazon wish list, so that our clients can also help buy things for them when they're in need of some supplies as well. And so, yeah, just such a big thing. And me having 3 rescue dogs, when I get home, it's the first thing I want to do. It's like they assume the position, all 3 of them usually on my bed, like, okay, it's snuggie time with mom.
I
And
know.
it's so great because they just relax you. Like, they're just so happy to see you and ready to just, unwind with you. even though they're like, first they're really excited and then they chill out and they're ready
I
to
love it.
go.
I
And
mean,
yeah.
my dogs are big. The two girls are 80 pounds, and the pup she's probably pushing 40 at this point. But
Oh,
just
wow.
like laying across your lap, it's just like it brings what actually brings your heart rate down. My one dog, my 5-year-old, I trained her as a service dog mainly so I could just take her with me. And to
Yes.
train them, they have to do. I have a heart murmur, so I am kind of legit to have one. But to train them, they have to do something for you. So I thought, okay,
Yes.
what can I have her do? And there's technique. It's called deep pressure therapy. Have you heard of
Mhm.
this? So what
No.
it is, there's acupressure points here and on your
Uh-huh.
thighs. And I thought she's too big to be putting her paws here. But I
Yeah.
taught her to go over my lap, and I call it presse. I go presse,
Uh-huh.
and she comes over and she puts her paws over my thighs, and she sits there, and I can just hug her, and it actually
Aw.
relaxes your heart. So
Wow.
they use it for they use it for many different reasons, but heart issues for sure. Any people that are on the spectrum, they'll use that just to calm them down. So that's one of the things she does, and I do it all the time. And what's interesting, when I'm on my computer casting, which can be really intense, you're just like, you're so focused, it'd be hours and hours and hours. She'll just like stand up and jump on me. It's like, take a break, mom. Like they know, they can
Yeah.
really feel what's going on. So
Like you need a timeout.
So I taught her how to do that. I also taught her how to open doors, which is the worst thing I've ever done.
She's like, I need a walk. Let's go.
Yeah. So I have to
Grabs
lock
her own
everything,
leash.
or else she'll be like, just all the doors
Oh
will
my
be
gosh.
open.
She's putting on her own leash and like, come on, guys.
Yeah, come-
We're out of here. Oh, that's fantastic. So, are we on to the last question?
Mhm.
The last question.
all you.
All
Her favorite.
right. My favorite one. So, we ask everyone who comes on the podcast this. So, we would like you to do a shout out to a badass babe in your world that has really either, helped you with your journey or paved the way for you or has done something amazing that you're just like, she's a badass.
Wow. Well, I kind of gave a shout out to my mom already, because she is
Yes.
such
Because she is a badass. Yes, for sure.
Oh gosh, I have so many great women in my life. Do they have to be in the business?
Don't have to. Nope.
Okay. So
Nope.
my shout out is to a dear friend of mine named Isabel. She's French. I met her about 25 years ago, and she came from France because of love. And she re-met her high school sweetheart after they'd both been married to other people, met in France, gave up her law career, gave up everything,
Wow.
move here, which is pretty hard, I mean, I think she
Yeah.
was, she wasn't young when she did it. And she is one of my greatest support. She always tells me the truth. She always kicks me in the ass when I'm, going on about something. She's that person for me. I trust that she always has my back. She will give me praise when praise is needed, and she'll really just get on me when it's like, let it go, Charisse. I mean, she'll say that. My blog's the Let Go. Let it go. Stop that. She calls me on all my shit, and I appreciate her so much.
Sometimes,
Isabel.
you just need that person in your life for sure
Yeah.
to keep you grounded.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. I love that. Well, I'm so glad that we got to see your smiling face. You are
Yes,
adorable.
You really are.
You really are.
You're gorgeous.
You are gorgeous.
Thank
And so sweet. And it's so funny that, I'd had a whole conversation with you and didn't know you at the time. We were talking, you had called regarding one of our clients that you put on Avail. She didn't book it, but we were still excited that she got in the mix. And then finding out about your Dobermans, and I had put you in my phone like that. I love that. That's so funny.
I love that. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I would love to do something with you ladies about women aging in the business.
Yes.
and gray hair, going gray, not going gray, fillers, not all of whatever that entails, because I think it's a really important subject to be talked about right now. It's a huge market that is opening up, and there's a lot of opportunity, and I would love to talk to you about that. I think it would be beneficial
great.
That would be great.
to women,
We're
to
into
men
it.
and women, but more women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it is. Yeah, it is a thing. It's like men can grow old gracefully, but it's like if we don't
It's
keep
so
it together.
aggravating.
It is.
They look distinguished with their. I saw this guy last night at church, and he had so many wrinkles and like was bald, and I was like, man, he's hot.
Yeah, they can be the silver fox, right? They can be the silver fox.
Yes,
we're the old
yes,
lady.
silver fox, and then they want you to be like 20 for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and it's not fair. It was kind of like the double standard where everyone was picking on during one of the Star Wars films, Carrie Fisher, but yet Harrison Ford looked just as old, but he was so attractive,
hot.
and she looked old. I'm like, she looked great. What are you talking about?
That's always the way.
Yes.
Why?
So see,
Let's change
we have
the
to
narrative.
talk about this. This is a really good subject.
Yes, we do. We'll have to dedicate a whole podcast to it.
Yeah. So you
Let's
figure
do
out
it.
that, and we'll talk. Nice to see you.
You're on. Nice to see you too. And it's actually nice to see people because of the pandemic. I feel like, we haven't seen a lot of people. And so this has been, it's fun to at least do the Zoom,
Do you see talent in the office?
We do.
You do?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I love being in the office. I love seeing people.
Yeah, if you ever want to come by and say hi.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll have to go to lunch.
Yeah. Where are you? What?
Burbank.
Burbank. Okay. So you're on this side. I'm in Agora, so it's kind of a straight shot.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
We'll make plans.
Yeah, that sounds good. Well, thank you. Thank you for finding me.
Thank you so much.
And
Thank you
the
so
connection and all of that. I love that. That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. So, and hug your mom for us.
I will. She's 88, lives on her own, drives. She's still
I love
really
that.
together.
A badass. Yeah.
Yeah, she's badass.
Yeah. She's badass. I
Yeah,
like that
babe.
a lot. Tell her we're proud of her. And she swears. Yes. Yes. I love that even more.
All right. Well, thank
All right.
you.
Well,
Thank you.
yes,
Thank
have a great
you.
night.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye. This episode was produced by me, Megan Ketz.
And me, Brenda Fisher.
Thanks to our Grammy-nominated sound engineer, Herman Villacorta. We have another amazing guest next week, so be sure to listen. If there's a topic you would like us to cover, message us on Instagram at Babes of Entertainment, also on Facebook, Babes of Entertainment, and on Twitter, Babe_podcast.
And now TikTok, Babes of Entertainment on TikTok. Woo, woo, woo. This podcast was produced by RSA Entertainment and Rogue Matter. Join the movement. Go Rogue.
Bad girl with a good heart. Lost boy got a fresh start. And she's my gasoline. Slick chrome on the Mustang.